Okay, welcome back. The studios of the by-elections in CRBC television. Of course, INEC has said that they're ready, and there are by-elections taking place in four states across the country, and Calabar State is among them. We have guests in the house this morning, and of course, we'll still be talking about the by-elections happening on Saturday, the 26th of February. I'll hand over to Joseph to introduce our guest properly.
Thank you very much, Janice. And also to remind us that CRBC will give you very balanced reportage on this election coming up tomorrow. You can depend on this medium as the only place I'll give you that truthful information that you need to know as far as the 2022 by-election is concerned. And welcome to our CRBC TV studio. We have with us at my left Efa Sunday. Efa Sunday is a political analyst. Efa, good morning. So good to have you join us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Janice, you look beautiful this morning.
Oh my God. I'm blushing. Thank you so much, Efa.
Okay, and we have a very regular face on our programs on TV. Otumba Charles Adam is a public affairs analyst. Otumba, good morning. So good to have you join us.
Good morning, Joseph. Janice, no need for you. She has always been looking good.
Thank you so much, and nice to have you join us today.
Good morning, viewers.
Okay, let me start with you, Otumba Charles Adam. Let's look at fine as at the result of today, campaigns have ended. But let's take a review of those campaigns we saw. Would you say they were issue-based or they went to personalities? Let's talk about the campaigns. We are not campaigning, but let's just review the various campaigns we saw coming from the two political parties taking part in tomorrow's election. With the Labour Party involved.
Now, sincerely, I must tell you this. The campaigns went on well. So far, there's not been any report of violence in anywhere that maybe one party attacked another, or hoodlums, anything was hijacked, or there was any problem. They've not been, to my own ears, they've not been anything like that yet. But it went on well. There were issues, some few things about the first PDP, how did they tag that campaign that was supposed to happen along highway, where they claim the state government sent soldiers, police to block them and so on and so forth. But thank God that came and has gone. There's been campaigns in several other, like the Akbabuyu. There's been campaign in Akbabuyu. There's been campaign in Makasi. You see, thank God all campaign has come and gone. So now it's for everybody to take to the field what you heard during the campaign. Maybe the people who came out to talk to you about candidates were convincing enough to make you believe in the candidate. But you see this election, I see it is going to be more of persons, not really political parties. Serious. It's really going to be more of persons. In my own point of view, some people are going out there to go vote somebody they know. But another issue is people are now being afraid of, if I vote, will it count? If it counts, will the court allow it? Because these days you just find, especially in Cross River, we have not forgotten what happened in the Northern Senatorial District elections. We've not forgotten what happened there. So we wouldn't want a situation where election will come and gone, and then the court will come and sit down. But sincerely, that is inevitable in these elections.
I think we'll get to that point where we talk about.
And let's also get the opinion of Efa. Efa, you're a political analyst. Let's look at the campaigns. Were they issue-based? How would you rate them?
Well, the campaigns went well. It started off well. The PDP did well, but I had a problem with bringing the campaign to the state capital, Calabar, when election that we are actually looking forward to having in the state is happening in Afabuyo and in Ogoja. Just like the APC state chairman said, Mr. Afonso Togaiba, he said, what is the essence of flagging off a campaign in the state capital when the elections are in the interior part of the state? But however, to the contrary, the PDP is saying that the state capital is the center. Many persons are in Calabar. Many people reside here. Before the election, probably yesterday, Thursday or today, they will be moving to their various local governments to now, cast their vote and so they have the right to hold the election anywhere within the state. But for the campaign, it all went well until they began to attack personalities in between. I don't see a reason why. It's just like a marketing strategy. You have two products or more products competing for the same audience. What you should do is come tell us why I should buy your product or believe in the properties that your product offer than the other. I don't see a reason why I should be saying this other product is not good enough or has this kind of bad character, so that's why you should pick mine. No, rather I should say this is what my product can offer over and above other competitive products. That is what they call issue-based campaign. But by the time you begin to attack personality, I don't think that is fair or good.
Okay, let's still talk about personalities here. And if you look back, you discover that the big wigs are in town for both parties now. We have Mohammed Abubakar Badur for Jigawa State, David Umahi for Ebonyi State, El Rufai for Kaduna State, and of course that's for APC now. And we have the likes of VK and Emmanuel Dom for, of course, Akwa Ibom State there. What is it really about Saturday's election? Now we have this kind of big wigs, coming in. But let's not forget, it's just a by-election.
It's simple. You see, sometimes if these guys want to advertise this water, they may choose to use a star footballer to come advertise ordinary water, and you will look like this person doesn't even stay in Nigeria. Why is he advertising this Nigerian water and so on? So it's a strategy. It's a strategy. They just believe maybe when I don't know, but it's a wrong strategy in my own opinion. It's a wrong strategy because you don't expect me to believe that who you are bringing to me is going to be good for me because Baduru came to advertise him or because Udom Emmanuel has come to spoke about it. No, you don't believe me. You don't expect me to believe that. So it's, we pray it works for them. But another thing is that there's no how those guys will come to this town and then will not invest in the election. Certainly.
Financially?
Yes. Which otherwise? Yes.
But it's not a wrong thing to invest in election.
It is not.
Is it positive investment or it's the matching dollar for dollar that we had?
It is not a wrong thing for them to invest. No, we're not contesting that. But now, should we? Well, it's for the youth also. Allow them invest, collect the money, and still vote for who you feel will function well for you. That's the way to go. Any of these people that brings money, you will not see them after 4 years. You have not seen them in the last how many years. Now that you've seen them, sincerely please, all youth, any politicians who come your way, offer you anything, collect it. Vote your conscience. Vote what will be good for you. You will not see them in 4 years.
Okay, we shall get to all this vote buying and all of that. But let's also get your thoughts on this. Do you think, like what Janice raised, do you think it's a good strategy for both parties coming up with this big wigs? After all, none of them will even cast a vote there. They could be in a hotel, or just driving around. That's it. They can't even cast a vote. And even not every cross, maybe an up north, would cast their vote. Only those, Goja and Yala. And Akpabio as well, just in a political war. So let's look at this strategy. Is it a way of, like what we just said, the party coming out to intimidate? Is it a form of intimidation or to sell their product?
Okay, first of all, we need to understand that it's a matter of supremacy for power and self-rule for power. The governor, His Excellency Senator Ben Ayade, wants to make a very loud and lasting mark in terms of, a mark, In the recent past, he's been in the PDP, and then recently he defected to the APC. And then what is it called now? The Senator Jaribi Agom won him to win the Senate seat. And so this election to him is like his first acid test to see how supreme or the kind of leader he is as an APC new member in South and especially in Cross River State, being the only APC state in the South. He wants to make that sound so loud to the national that, yes, I am in control of my state. So he's going to do everything possible to ensure that he gets at least one, which is for now the Ogojayala Federal House constituency election. So I think that's why the governor is bringing, and I don't see this as anything bad. It's not a bad marketing strategy. In marketing anyway, there is something they call appealing to the people's conscience. You can actually appeal to people's conscience. You can bring celebrity, like he was talking, to endorse a particular product, because those celebrities or those bigwigs in this way, they have their followers. They have people who look up to them, who likes them, who can hear them speak and believe what they say. So when they bring such people to come and endorse a particular candidate, they kind of have more followers in the state, And then, to His Excellency, he feels that these people coming from the north, they represent the federal, they represent the presidency. So you bringing them is like saying President Muhammad Buhari has endorsed this particular candidate of our party, and so you people should, yes, because Malam El Rufai actually said it, that he came with a message from the president, and the president is assuring that he's going to do everything possible to ensure that the APC candidate Ngaji wins the election. So for me, that's not a bad strategy. And then of the PDP also bringing Wike, and I also know that His Excellency, the Akwa Ibom State Governor, is the co-chairman of the campaign election. There's no big deal. It's just it's like I said when I started. So it's a matter of supremacy of power. So it's very critical.
When I hear people say they're going to do everything possible, just like you said, that the governor is going to do everything possible to make sure that he wins and makes a statement, I begin to wonder how far we can go in this. in this. But this is just to remind us that we have correspondents in different parts of Ogojayala and also Akabio, and we'll be linking up with one of them very, very soon in the course of this conversation to give us feedbacks on all that is happening on ground at Ogojayala and of course Akabio as well. But let's go forward now. Joseph, I was, Otumba talked about, he was even charging the youth if they give you money, collect and still vote your conscience. And I'm wondering, youth, what you call it now, involvement in politics. Are we sure that the youth that we have today have come of that consciousness that they can collect money and vote their conscience?
Okay, you see, first of all,
are they not still going to be used as stooges and as ballot box carriers and gun and machete carriers?
First of all, let me say this. You see, I will thank His Excellency Professor Ben Ayade for one thing he has done. He has brought a political turnaround in Cross River State. Without his leaving PDP to APC, there wouldn't be this type of hit in the political terrain. There wouldn't be.
Yes,
There wouldn't be all these challenges. There wouldn't be all these people waking up. It would still have been the boardroom politics where people in PDP, as the culture used to be, would just sit down and say a terror or say Papa or God say we should. And so on that day everybody, and so there was no party challenging them in real sense. So first of all, I thank His Excellency for making that decision and making the political terrain of Cross River State to now be balanced. Very, very balanced. If you go out there, you see the heat from the both parties. Their campaign, everybody struggling to outsource the other person, everybody, they are just pushing. That being said, and now for the youths, their involvement, the youths will still be what they used to be. But sensitization, programs like this, events, and some things that has gone on in time past, there are so many groups. Groups have really sprung up in the build-up to 2023. There have been different names of groups, different types, who are trying to sensitize the youth. Now, if we used to have 80% of youth snatching ballot boxes in 2019, we will not have that 80% again. I can tell you. We won't have. See, the consciousness of both the youth, the elders, the consciousness of the people have really awoken in the things of politics these days. Sincerely. So people are beginning to think a different way. People are beginning to see a different thing, see these politicians in different light. Person like me, I'm seeing them in a very different light. I understand who they are, what they are coming for, when they need, and what. We now know them. So we also are trying to sensitize the people we have around us. Make youths also around us understand. It is our duty it is everybody's duty to make every youth understand that politics can be politics, but with dynamics.
Okay, let's talk about political parties now. We see the three political parties taking part in tomorrow's by-election. We see the PDP, the APC, and Labour Party. Is that not worrisome?
There's SDP in the race of Abuja.
But it's not worrisome that we have over 50 political parties, but we are seeing just a handful taking part in the by-election. And if I should get your word very well when you said that His Excellency has given the youth of Cross River State a platform, is that why you not come all out to form a political party that is useful and contest power? Maybe they feel they are comfortable with the APC structure built by His Excellency.
It's quite early to assume that. It's quite early. And then let's not forget that there is a youth party, the YP.
And they are not out here in this election. Why?
Probably maybe nobody came to patronize them. Maybe nobody came to buy their form.
So why are you telling us now that there's youth party?
This is just an election of two, one state constituency and one federal constituency. This is just
no, but I think it would have even been a better platform for them to try their luck in the smaller elections.
Let's not forget.
So are we saying the youth are really conscious? Maybe they're not comfortable with the food on the table.
No, I will argue against that. See, even in the APC, look at the candidate of APC in the Akpabuyu by-election. A very young guy. He's almost like me. A very young guy. So that's youth. That's a youth. I believe, I'm not canvassing for him. I'm not advertising or something. But why won't the youth sit down and say that this is their own? They should support it. And at least have a very young person. He will be the youngest in the State House of Assembly if he emerges. He will be the youngest. So why not sit down and think like that? They don't need to go and to form a political party in Nigeria. It's capital intensive. We see plenty of them during the general elections. They will not see most of those things are business, Joseph. Okay. Most of these political parties are business. They believe they should just open the shop and then see who will come in to patronize.
And then close after the general election. Okay. And they become redundant.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at political apathy. Because no matter how much we talk, sometimes a lot of Nigerians have believed that their votes do not count, and that's why you see them. It's either they're sleeping, let them go to their seats, or they take the road and they play football. Let's look at political apathy. Is that changing, or it will still be on the status quo?
It may still be, because now if you go to the social media, there are reports. There are what is it called now? That there's plan to militarize the Ugojayala election. Alleged. Now, if that happens, who will want to come out and then maybe get hit by a stray bullet or by something? So some people would want to shy away, but we are discouraging that. Go out, vote. Even see to yourself how they want to rob your constituency of your very person whom you wanted to be to emerge at the end of the day. People shouldn't lie down at home, but again, the problem there is the court. Because after all this, even though the election is as free, transparent, and whatever, one person will go to court.
Okay, let me so that I can give a broader spectrum to answer that. In responding to that question that Janice brought up. Now, we want to also ask this: who would you blame political apathy on? Will it be on political parties, INEC, or government failure? No, that's you, Stefan.
Okay, yes.
Who do you blame it on? Is it political parties? Is it INEC, or INEC also has education units that they go out to educate the public, or you will blame it on government failure?
I blame it on every single stakeholder involved in the electionary process. The government, INEC, the citizens themselves. There are agencies that have been established, like the National Orientation Agency, started with the responsibility to orientate and educate the people on the need for, like Otumba said, going out for election and voting. It's your right. It's your right to exercise your franchise. But then, government has failed over the years. Before now, we do see people like, I use the 1993 election that saw MK Abiola, emerging as the president, which never ever, happened in the history of Nigeria. I was really quite small then, but I saw the election, and I heard that was one of the freest and fairest election in the history of Nigeria. So people came out to vote, but then again, you saw that this thing was upturned. So it gave people this feeling that, what is even the need for me to go out? After all, government has a way of always upturning. Like you said, it's going to be a court judgment. After we come out and vote, court to come and decide another one. Like we saw in the case of Imo. So many other challenges, government is involved. INEC themselves are not helping. You see a situation where INEC chairman is nominated by the president, or how will I put it? They don't make the process free enough for the people. Yes, so like I was saying before we went on the quick commercial break, it's very important now that Nigerians should wake up. We shouldn't longer allow ourselves to be used like my other colleague was saying. The time has changed. The seasons are changing. So we should begin to take our destiny in hand. And I like the fact that the Commissioner of Police, Hassan Aminu, has deployed about 5,500 police personnel to the election areas. And the NSCDC also has given 950, making it a total of 6,450 security personnel, just to ensure that there is no issue of violence at any time. And then to the youth, like my colleague has said, it's very important that we do not make ourselves useful tools in the hands of those people. Like he was saying, these people are friends up there, but you're here killing yourself. That's why the issue of violence is always occurring, because they will tell you, go snatch ballot box for me, go kill, go do this. But if you take up the responsibility that, no, my destiny is in my hands, I must ensure that my vote counts, and I must see to it to the end. Not in a very ridiculous way by inciting violence, but by ensuring that the process is seen to the very end. Go out, cast your vote. Tomorrow is the day. Just go, take some few minutes, cast your vote, sit quietly somewhere and observe, and then make a recommendation later.
I begin to imagine where a day that the politics in Nigeria, elections put together, will just come and go without court cases. Not even court cases. You're so particular about court cases. Will go without, violence. I'm just looking forward to that day.
Looking at violence, let me quickly get your thoughts on this, because you were able to give us statistics on the personnel deployed to those election areas. Let's look at security by ourselves. Do you think we can find the governor is the chief security officer, and the people on the other flank of political divide would feel that anything that will come from his side, it could be overlooked. Yeah, but if it gets to another political party, maybe the LP, maybe the SDP, or the PDP, they will crush them, so to say. That's what we have at the public spaces. As a political analyst, do you think that is possible?
Yes, it's very possible, considering the political terrain we find ourselves in Nigeria. Over the years, we've seen that the power of incumbency, the state governor always calls the shot, and plus the fact that he is the chief security officer of the state, and all security personnel, their commandants, their chief of staff and all of that is always at the beck and call of the governor of the particular state. But then the onus falls on the leaders of these various security agencies to give us that confidence that they are not a tool, a machinery in the hand of the state governor. So I would like to enjoy them, urge them that come this election tomorrow, let's just see a difference. Let's not be like the regular elections we've been having in Nigeria, where the police, the NSCDC, and other sister security agencies are like stooge in the hand of the state governor. Let them come do their job, free and fair, balanced. It will even give the other parties, the confidence that, of course, these people are really doing their job.
Okay, and let's quickly move away from security matters
and talk about the court issues now.
Let's actually do that.
Because I really want to talk about
okay, but before we get to the court, we have the only body empowered by the Nigerian Constitution to conduct election, which is INEC. Let's talk about INEC briefly. Do you think, Otumba, that INEC is ready for this election?
They are. If they are not ready, they would have counseled the election. It's on them. They can call that, okay, they have an excuse, this. So they are ready.
Let's look at Beaver. Janice, remember that the Imo election, a few other elections, had issues with the Beaver. Talk to us. Do you think we've got to that level where we'll have a seamless and a very smooth election?
No, the Beavers has not worked perfectly in any of the elections. So So we shouldn't expect something different. Unless maybe we are going to have maybe the company producing the beavers station in where the elections will be. Before we can say, oh, the company is there, so we can cross our hearts and say, no. But apart from that, we should expect peace.
Political analyst, is INEC ready? Let me also
INEC is ready. Cross River State Commissioner for INEC has been issuing press releases, holding meetings with the various stakeholders involved, and they've expressed their own readiness. And like Otumba said, the beavers have not worked in past elections to its fullest. But I heard the commissioner for INEC in Cross River State say that whichever machine at whatever polling unit that has any fault, it will be rectified or changed within the next 2 minutes. So this is, like I said earlier, it's going to be the acid test to determine how 2023 general election will look like. So let's just see what INEC does, how it comes out in this particular election.
Okay, so I wanted to also say that, saying that INEC is ready, we always hear that, come every election. But on that day, you see that election was supposed to start by 8 o'clock, and we're starting election maybe later on in the afternoon. So lateness of arrival of election tools is another problem, major problem.
Now we also had inconclusive, remember?
It became like a mantra.
Yeah,
inconclusive results.
You see, some of those officials having to appear late in some cases, I don't. In my personal opinion, I used to think maybe it's just a way of, playing some, because INEC knows they are conducting election at Yala and the environment. By now, even the material has not gotten there. The officials should be there, lodged in some places. And then in the morning, they should be at their point. Material should be in this Nigeria, anywhere, in this Cross River State, anywhere you wake up to move, maybe even like 3 o'clock. You have newspaper companies move their papers overnight. So it could get to state and hit the ground early in the morning. Materials could leave early enough so they could get to wherever they are to be used and get there on time. But you see, in all these things, there are some things you can't say on there.
I think I have a different view to what you have just said.
Okay, let's hear you.
For security reasons, I don't think it is wise for INEC officials and staff to be around where election will be conducted.
With all the number of security personnel you say are in this place.
You can't trust Nigeria political system.
Okay, guys.
You can't trust the system. You cannot. Okay, what if, for example, they lodge somewhere around Yala or Goja. You know how these politicians behave. They know you are lodging in a particular hotel. The highest bidder may come to you overnight and say, "Papa, take this money," and just,
But do you think that would be ruled out completely?
It cannot be ruled out, but they are trying to see how they can cut it down to the minimum minimum.
I wanted to say, is INEC also devoid of any form of bias?
They are not.
They're not. I think we just have to wrap things up, guys.
Let's get a conclusion.
Yeah.
We want to hear the
because of time.
But let's get your message for the youth.
Fine. Thank you for giving me that. Dear youth of Cross River State who are going to be involved in this by-election, it is a very simple message to you. Whoever you are supporting, you can support the person without supporting him violently, without snatching ballot box, without killing your fellow youth, without massacre, without destroying things, without doing anything. Don't forget that you cannot marry a daughter or a son of that politician whom you are staking your life for. Do not forget that. And don't also forget that they will not take you to go collect the certificate when they finally emerge.
All right, Efa, quickly.
Okay, I would like to inform everyone tomorrow is the day. Please do your best to ensure that this election is free and fair. We are all co-stakeholders in this journey. INEC cannot do this alone. Security operatives cannot do this alone. The power is in your hand. Go peacefully, conduct yourself peacefully, vote peacefully, sit quietly somewhere, observe what is done. If you have any complaint, move to the next point, which is the court, like Otumba has been saying, and seek a redress in court. God bless Cross River State.
Amen. Definitely we'll have to talk about that court by our next session tomorrow.
We have to do
a whole
that.
lot being upon. Janice, thank you very much for your time on the show, my beautiful co-host. But let me quickly remind us that 7 to 8 p.m. this evening we will be having the studio coming back live for the by-elections, and at 10 till 11 p.m. the studio will be back live, and on radio will be 6 to 7. We've been talking all the while with FR Sunday. FR is a political analyst. Many thanks for your time on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And we hope to get feedback after the elections tomorrow. Otumba Charles Eden, public affairs analyst. Many thanks for your time on the show today.
Thank you, sir.
And Janice, we'll do this again.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do this again tomorrow, and we also fingers crossed on the outcome of the elections, which is going to happen tomorrow. Have a fantastic day and good morning once again.
My name is Joseph Inyang. We'll be handing you over now to Faith for the news at noon. Stay with us.